You are listening to the WYRD Mountain Gals Show. Prepare yourself.
Hello.
Hello, recording in progress already?
It already is, yeah. And I'm taking you with me in the vehicle, which I'm not touching anything. I'm in a parked car right now currently. And since we're on, all I have to do is just keep on driving. So
Okay.
or I can drive until I park. So it just saying, for those of you who are getting ready to get mad at me for doing that, I know that I should not look at my screen or anything. That's why I had the video off anyway, because yeah, can't really see me. Anyway, how's Miss Byron?
Nah, neck hurts.
You got a pain in the neck going on.
Well, actually, it's just part of the neck now. It started out, I picked up a box that was heavy, and I picked it up
Uh,
badly. And and it was all across my shoulders and my neck,
mm, mm.
starting Friday morning.
Oh,
And then I'm trying not to take too much Tylenol.
yeah.
Um, but Kat plugged me in with her heating pad. And so by Saturday, it was my shoulders were better. By Sunday, it was just in my neck. And by today, it's only in half of my neck. So I'm just taking care of it and it will be fine. It's just pulled muscles because I picked up something too heavy badly.
Yeah, I know. My shoulder's done that to me this week, and it has been my own fault because I was lifting something I shouldn't. And I frequently carry around this 45-pound pocketbook.
Uh-huh.
So that's not
Yeah, I do the
exactly,
same thing.
yeah, it's not exactly the best thing I could do for myself. And I should know better. Sometimes when I write music, I feel like it's been given to me, because I don't understand how I came to suddenly hear, some songs in my mind, or suddenly hear a verse or a tune or something. And
Uh-huh.
it often happens in the morning as I'm waking up and before the day weighs on me. And I
Oh,
don't,
nice.
well, it just, that's always kind of been the way it was. So I had this kind of thing going on. It was this morning, although it seems like it was a lifetime ago, but I had a dream and I came out of the dream slowly, and I had this fragment of a song, of a tune, and I had this fragment of some words. And as I started waking up, it started kind of picking up speed and picking up steam.
Cool.
And it was a song that I realized about 30 seconds into it, because it made me feel it, power, energy, whatever you want to call that. I felt it. I felt it in my
Mm-hmm.
hands. I felt like I could bring about a huge change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And let's just say I felt like I could destroy somebody. And I don't have any desire to do that. And as I was waking up, it was more of a feeling in my body. I actually wanted, it was like, feel like, it's like when your legs are bunched up and you just want to straighten them out. I wanted to use
Uh-huh.
whatever this was running through me. And when I realized what it was, it made me very nervous. And I made myself forget it. I got so nervous I was shaky a little bit because it was so real. And it felt like it would
Oh.
be an atom bomb to somebody. So I don't want that. I don't want to, cause harm like that. And it did. It felt like I could obliterate somebody. What is that? I mean,
No,
I'm
you
not,
don't want to do that.
no, no. But I don't know. I don't know what happened. I've never had anything like that happen to me. I just thought I was writing music, and it was I don't know, it almost felt like a temptation because I really wanted to do it.
No, I think that's exactly in a way what it is. There, you touch the actual chaotic core of the universe. That's what it is. And we don't get, most of us regular folks don't get a whole lot of opportunities to do that in our lives, maybe half dozen times. And they're famous magicians and whatever that have done that, and they go mad. And
Oh,
one of them is Aleister Crowley. That's
oh,
what happened to Aleister Crowley. He was offered the power of the universe, and he was arrogant enough to think he could control it. And
oh,
that, you are never going to read that in any book about him. That is absolutely intuitive on my part.
wow.
So yeah, I think that is the core of what both is and runs the universe, is that unlimited, unstoppable energy. And I think
Yeah.
it's the life force personally.
Well, I think energy
That's what I
is
think.
life force. I think everything is energy. Well, that's
Yeah.
my thought. That's very convenient to say because you could just write off everything, do it. But that's also based on what little few things I know. That seems very true. But it was the most. It
Well,
was.
I think Einstein believed the same thing.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, okay, I'm in good company, that's for sure. But I'll tell you,
Yes, definitely.
I didn't ask for, I wasn't expecting anything like that. It was just a normal morning. And I was happy because, I'm always grateful that I can wake up without an alarm. I used to have an alarm, and get up on somebody else's idea of what time I should get up. And now I'm at
Hmm.
that place in my life where I'm able to get up in the place where my body wants to get up.
Yeah.
And it's so every morning I always feel like I'm getting away with something. It's like, so I love waking up slow, opening the windows and hearing the birds, getting my first cup of something and letting my brain just be quiet as long as it will.
Hmm.
And
That's so
I
beautiful.
it really is. And those kind of mornings are the best. They are. But this was something I've never experienced, hadn't thought about, didn't know it existed. It just felt, it was crazy. And I've never made myself forget the words to a song because at the same time, you know, my thoughts were thoughts. They weren't formed words. And so at the same time, I kind of realized that, well, this could be given out. I could sing this as a song and teach people how to sing this, and they could destroy, you know. But it was that. Oh God, I'm really stumbling around. I don't want the power. I don't want power, and I don't want destruction. But the feeling was so magical. That's really the only word. It was like, especially it was in my fingers and hands, and I just felt like I wanted to use them. So maybe I should just go sit at a piano next time I get that feeling, right?
Yeah, it couldn't hurt.
Yeah, I know you think I'm crazy. I'm crazy, by the way. Just thought I'd tell you.
I like it. I do not think I do not think you're crazy. What I do think is that you're crazy if you say you don't want power. Because imagine if you could, and I'm not trying to tempt you with this, but imagine if you could cure Alzheimer's, if you could cure cancer, if you could use that incredible creative power to make the world better. Now, doesn't that feel tempting? Not just
That
power
feels
for
tempting.
power's sake.
That does feel tempting, but that's not what this felt like. It felt like destruction.
Well,
If I, that's really kind of what it felt like. But maybe it was just because
destruction.
that's the first place my mind landed. Maybe.
Well, destruction is the first step of creation. Is it going to clear the way?
Oh, okay. Well, maybe tomorrow I'll dream that I pull the sword out of the stone. And then after that, maybe I'll get a third dream where I'm notified by the genie. Yes.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm all right with it. Magical life is a good life if you want to know the truth. And you know the truth already.
I do.
Um, so this weather is so pretty. It's so beautiful. It's really hard to be in a bad mood with weather like this.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it is very blurry for us because of that mulch fire, it's still smoking like nobody's
Oh,
business.
it's blurry down because it's beautiful up here.
It is mostly beautiful here, but every now and then it is very smoky-ish from the mulch fire. And I tell you what, that was the other thing I loved about waking up this morning is I could smell it a little bit, and it smelled like a lumber mill, which I love so much. And so it just put me in a good mood. That part of it did. And I love hearing all the birds out in that area. There's so many different
Mm-hmm.
ones. So yeah, a lot of things to be happy about.
Definitely.
And it's that season of the year when people start having strange encounters, strange
Mm-hmm.
dreams, things like that. My mom dreamed about that helicopter that crashed. She dreamed
Uh,
about that last week.
I hadn't heard about that. What happened?
I'm not 100% sure because I just heard about it today, but evidently there was a helicopter that went down somewhere on the coast in Florida, maybe, and I guess everyone died. I don't, like I said, I don't know the whole story except that my mom this morning she said, "Remember, I dreamed about that last week. We were doing something and the news was on,
Oh,
and it, yeah, I'm not surprised. She does that pretty often, dreams about stuff." She dreamed one time when I was a kid, she laid us all down for a nap, I'm sure out of self-preservation. So she said, so we all laid down for a nap, including her. And when we got up, she always, the very first thing that would always be said was, "What did you dream?" Yeah, every time we woke up, whether it was a nap or whatever, or, and I say we, but for sure she would ask me. So I don't remember what I said, but I remember her saying, "Well, I just had a dream that Mrs. Vick asked me to kill a snake." And that was our next door neighbor. She lived there by herself. And about an hour later, she came down and she asked Mom, she says, "There's a snake in my yard. Will you come and kill it?" And Mom asked her what
wow.
kind of snake it was and never did tell her that was an expected knock on the door.
Wow, that's interesting.
It's the family, it's our family thing, I guess. The women especially seem to have these dreams that are that way sometimes, and where they,
Mm-hmm.
and I've thought and thought about what it could be, and I've just never come to any conclusion other than, hey, somebody out there wants us to know this for whatever reason, or maybe we just, in my mind, some places it's like when you're rough polishing a stone and you're trying to get all the shale off of it, and every now and then you can see part of the prettier part of the stone as you're
Mm.
polishing it. That's how it feels for me with dreams. Sometimes you can kind of see that pretty other area that's beyond the shale, beyond the regular stuff, just
Yeah.
feels, it feels, it always feels good. It never feels bad, even when it has bad news in it. It never feels like a curse ever. It just feels like what you do. Some people dream. You dream that way sometimes, don't you?
I do. Yep, I sure do.
I wonder, well, I wonder if it's more, no, I don't wonder. It is a family thing. People have traits that get passed down their family, don't they?
They do. And I have noticed in my research that an awful lot of people who are Scots Irish
Mm-hmm.
have those abilities. But I
Hmm.
mean, we're not the only ones.
No, but that's interesting. That is interesting. Hmm. I got so much to learn. It's too bad
Me
I'm in my
too.
60s.
I know. We're gonna run out of time before we run out of things to learn.
That's what I figure. And that's kind of irritating at the same time. But and when we transition to whatever it is we transition to, I'm probably not going to be interested in hearing every single piece of music ever done. But maybe I don't know. Maybe I will. Who knows? I will have eternity to do it.
Well, theoretically, I mean,
Yeah.
if that's what you believe happens at the end, yeah.
I don't know. Uh, I have weird beliefs about that. I'll tell you what I want. I think your book coming up is highly appropriate. And I really hope, and I'm not telling you, I would never tell you what to write, okay? Because this book is gonna write itself and you're gonna be the one holding the pencil.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting if there was some research or some information about how people would treat their beloved dead, because I have some very specific beliefs when I'm dead. When I first die, I don't want certain things to go on around me. I want it to be quiet. I want blah 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 blah. I have my wants and stuff. And I believe that I picked up that
Uh-huh.
because of being Appalachian. That's the way, you know, people take care of their own in Appalachia. Now we always use a funeral home, but I would never be surprised if it was, not that way for us. It would not surprise me the way that, I don't know, it just feels like a familiar situation to take care of the dead. I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain. I need to just shut my mouth. I'm rambling.
No, you're doing good.
Well, I think that your book coming up is so needed. I know that. See, you write things that are not just flowery prose, but you give advice and you talk about how to do things in your books, and people need the nuts and bolts of that. They need
I
to
think
quit.
so.
Yeah, yeah, because turning it into something that can only be discussed in whispers and not around the kids at all is, in my opinion, wrong thing to do.
Me too. Me too. I
That's
agree.
that's like saying, "Hey, winter's coming. Why don't we go buy some sandals? They're on sale." You're just not prepared, are you? So anyway, I talked to somebody today who
Uh-huh.
or the other day, who was telling me that his wife's emergency plan for the snow this winter is to go to Holiday Inn Express. I'm
Can,
like,
can she get there without driving?
I don't know, but I thought, well, okay, if you can do that, more power to you. Most people do not make that their plan. So
Well, and I guess you got to hope the Holiday Inn Express continues
has
to have
room,
power
yeah, in a room. That's
and
the other
room.
thing. We would get packed when it would snow. Be about half of the people would be coming up from Georgia or somewhere like that so that they could see the snow. And
Oh,
then, yep. And then the other half of them would be people who either lost their power or were afraid they were going to.
uh-huh.
And we always wondered why they would come to a hotel, and because they were afraid of losing power, and not even ask if we had any kind of backup or anything if the power went out, which by the way we didn't. So,
Uh,
so
well,
oh,
yeah, you would think they would at least ask that if their worry was
mhm.
about staying warm.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not. I'm done wondering about. You would think that though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite Halloween candy?
Are you high? Because
Yes.
what it brings out in me is this most solemn death dealing with. I mean, that's all I think about this time of year. I don't,
You never look back to the Halloween traditions?
no, I don't. I mean, I can, like right now, we're going to talk about what happened when I was a kid at Halloween, but
Yeah.
I don't look back on it because I don't celebrate Halloween anymore. I stopped celebrating Halloween when my daughter stopped having me take her trick or treating.
Ah, okay.
Even though if you looked at my house right now, it is massively decorated for Halloween because that is something Joe loves to do. But for me, I wouldn't do a lick of it.
A lick of it. Okay.
I wouldn't, because for me, this is the time of year I want to visit the Ballard Cemetery. I want to visit Green Hill, New Morgan Hill, all those places that I got people. I
Mm-hmm.
want to be able to pick a beautiful day that's not too hot and to take a basket full of flowers and food and go
Mm,
one cemetery after the other,
nice.
finishing up with my closest ones, which are Green Hill, and just
Mm,
spend time with them. Yeah, just spend time with them.
that does sound
So,
nice.
so yeah, I mean, I lived way out in the country growing up, so you had to walk a long ways to get whatever candy you got. And I guess like most kids, I loved chocolate candy. I liked and I like coconuts, so that Mounds bars and almond joys, I liked those. I remember.
Mm,
How
mm.
about you? What was your favorite candy?
Well, I don't know. I hadn't thought of it. I really don't know.
So you asked me, but you hadn't thought of it.
Well, yeah, I expect you to know, but I don't have to hold myself to that standard.
Well,
Good
it's
Lord.
funny when you think about it. There's like the hierarchy of candy. So there's
Yeah.
the really good stuff.
Yeah.
That's I guess now like the Snickers bars and stuff like that, all the way down to candy corn and and that peanut butter kisses that were like really sort of a toffee thing or taffy thing wrapped in orange and black paper. Remember those?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
And
remember
yeah,
those.
most of us didn't love those, but it was in fact sugar. So when all the good stuff was gone, yeah, you'd eat that too.
Well, now, honestly, my Halloweens were a little odd sometimes because I had food allergies. I was allergic
Oh,
to
right.
chocolate. I was allergic to chocolate and anything that had eggs in it or chocolate, I couldn't have.
Oh,
But that's all right though. There was plenty of stuff I could have. Those little things you were talking about in the orange and black paper,
yeah.
everybody hated them except for me, and I loved them. I loved
Oh,
them.
good.
Yeah.
Well, then
So,
you probably got a lot of them.
probably did. I don't think the candy was the main deal for me. I like dressing up and going to everybody's houses. That just was so fun to be
What
able to
what's your
just go to everybody's house
what,
and knock on the door.
what was your favorite costume?
Uh, my mother made costumes for my brother and I. And if he hears this, he'll kick my butt because he was so cool. But we were clowns, and we were like the clowns, not the scary kind because we didn't have face makeup on, but we had pretty little clown costumes that had little yarn balls for buttons and
Oh,
stuff like that. We were fairly young, and we looked like twins because we were
uh-huh.
11 months apart, and, and he at the time he had red hair, and so we wandered around looking like twins in those outfits, and I think that would have been my favorite outfit. That's the one I remember the most.
Oh,
So mine was half of it was blue. Now that I'm thinking about it, they were more like jester costumes, weren't they? I wonder if mom was getting a secret kick out of it. Not, but yeah, I liked that, and I really loved, you know, running into people because, gosh, we would just there'd be four, five, six of us in a herd, and then we'd see other another herd of kids coming down the road. coming down the sidewalk at us, and would we know them? Maybe we would, And we compare outfits, I'm sure. So I don't remember, I never was that kid who threw eggs or TP'd a house. But
Oh,
yeah, I don't know why. I just didn't. I don't know. I just
we didn't
never.
do it a lot, but we did a little bit of that.
It just never occurred to me to do that. And I think I do remember maybe one house that I saw one time that had been toilet papered, TP'd with
Mm-hmm.
skill and precision. And of
It
course,
had
back
been
then,
rolled. You
oh yeah,
rolled, it got rolled.
oh yeah. And back then, the houses didn't have cameras all over the place.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
you could count on being able to go and probably not being seen if you were quiet enough, I guess. But like I said, I don't think I ever did that. And the other thing I never saw done is I never saw the flaming bag of poo on the porch.
Oh, dear.
I've heard of that. I've seen it in the movies. But have you?
Yes, and I'm taking the fifth on that. I believe if you will read me my Miranda rights, I have the right to remain silent.
You may, that's true. But anything you say or don't say could be used against you.
Absolutely. I don't even
Yeah.
know if there's a statute of limitations on that kind of crime, but
No.
yes, I have seen that done.
Have you? Well,
Yes, I have.
I
Hmm.
mean, I think it's funny in a way, but everything nowadays. I mean, if somebody did that nowadays, you know what? It'd be on the TV the next day going, hate crime in progress. You know,
Right, right. And the
and
the kids would get caught and sent to juvie.
oh, yeah, at least, or else it would be blamed on, Antifa or something.
Oh, right.
Antifa did this.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh.
I drove past a house that said Antifa not welcome here. Okay.
So,
Uh,
are y'all fascists? Is that what you're telling us? Okay,
yeah.
as long as I know.
I don't know. I missed all the Antifa meetings, and so I'm not sure if I'm even in this club or not. Uh,
Yeah.
I,
Did you
I,
not did you not pay your dues this year?
I have never paid any dues, so I don't know. Maybe
No.
I'm not a member. I'm not a member of a lot of things. I'm very happy about that because right now I'm fairly embarrassed about both sides on several issues. May I just say?
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're trying to be civilized and everything about it, but damn, Byron.
Well, just the when you look at the statistics about red states and blue states, it's the red states that need Medicaid and child care and all of that. It's the red states that need it because they are poorer states and have stupid taxation. But yeah, but no, no, ain't nobody should get anything that they haven't earned. But
Right.
here's the thing. Do y'all not remember that you can't earn your way to heaven? You can't earn salvation. That's not how salvation works. And
No.
even I, an uneducated pagan hillbilly, know that. You can't you can't good works your way to heaven, and you can't you there's only one way to get to heaven for those people, and they know it.
I
They
know.
know it.
Yeah.
So you can forget the beatitudes if you want to, but I tell you who has not forgotten them, and that is, to use the parlance of my people, the man upstairs. He has not forgotten what his son said. He's not
Right.
forgotten it.
Well, I don't think so either.
But he knows that you have. He can see that you have forgotten that. There, that's my preaching for the evening.
There you go. Now that ought to tie somebody up in knots if they are of that Protestant belief system and still supporters of that side. That should tie them up in knots, but it won't, you see, because there's some strange blockage there. It's almost like he got there when he first ran for the first time and he just, shit out the Brown sound and certain ones were able to get hypnotized by it. Because nothing you say that
I'm
can
telling you.
convince them, and it's just craziness. It really is just craziness. I don't know what to say. It's embarrassing. I'm looking forward to talking to my brother, who has spent, the last 3 weeks out of the country, and I'm looking forward to finding out if he ran into any of that while he was out of the country. If anybody had anything to say to
Uh,
him about being from
oh
the
yeah,
States.
that'll be a fun thing to hear about.
Yeah, maybe. I hope so. I asked him to bring me a newspaper, and that was primarily the
Hmm.
reason why, because I want to see what those have to say. Because I feel strongly that most everything is heavily edited that goes out there. Even the stuff that they don't agree with, they only let certain amount out, is the way that I feel about it, because they have the AIs now that can monitor stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I think we're getting the woke version and the conservative version of pablum sometimes.
Yes. Yes.
And I say that, and I watch these videos, and I'll see how they're framed. And it's like, here's my little guy, Adam Mockler, who I adore so much, for his debating skills and for his quick on his feet and blah, 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 blah. But he didn't have that many viewers until he signed on with this Midas network.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah.
right. And this Midas network has just, you can look at this guy's videos now, and it'll have a picture of him looking like he's shocked, absolutely shocked. And it'll have some stupid teaser thing on it, like, you'll never guess what he said this time.
Yeah.
And
He comes
so,
across my reels sometimes.
right. Well, and he is one of the ones that don't do it as much. So I really believe that both sides need to step it up and do the right thing for their constituents. And I really believe that they're not gonna, because it's all a money game.
All the money game. You're exactly right.
And if that makes me super duper jaded, all I can say is anybody surprised?
Well, I tell people that I came of age politically during the Nixon administration, so it takes a whole lot to have me believe something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I believe that we're going to have to figure out how to get by for a while. And, you know, I believe that we should not give up hoping that the media will be able to become the media again. I miss that. I do.
Well,
I miss that.
and we're going to see independent media springing up. I mean, Asheville Watchdog is not 100% yet because they still will do bullshit like that thing about the mayor.
Uh,
Oh, well, I mean, she's not so bad. And like all the comments, if you saw that come across your social media feed, all the comments were like, "Damn, Boyle, have you ever met this woman? Did you even talk to her? God, Boyle, what
yeah. It's,
the
well,
Asheville
actual
Brave?"
politics. We
Yeah,
have some of the weirdest politics ever, wouldn't you say?
always. Faux sure.
Even feel like the
Don't
same
put that in
place.
the podcast.
Oh,
Don't
hell
put
no,
that in
no,
the
no, no.
podcast.
I would not. I definitely would not. There's a lot I'll cut out of this one, just like the last one.
Did you have to cut a
So
lot of the last one out? Didn't
I
seem
did.
like it.
It no, I cut out at least 8 to 10 minutes at least.
Huh.
And yeah, and we were, saying things we shouldn't have said in front of people. So
Yeah, we do that.
we have a tendency to do that from time to time.
We do
Uh,
because they need to hear the truth, and the truth may not be pleasant.
Truth is rarely pleasant anymore, anyway, but it's what you need to hear. So, hey,
Well,
speaking of the truth, there's that little beautiful white church that I'm getting ready to start writing about, because I want the community to help me save this church. There's even if my daddy wasn't buried there, even if my mother wasn't gonna be buried there, I would still be doing this because this church deserves to be saved. It was
It
a
does.
shitty loophole that the state was using to be able to say that they're gonna, tear it down, and the loophole being, oh well, y'all did a repair to it.